Hey, good morning, guys. It's Thursday, January 7th. Wanted to do a little bit different of a I guess, a video this morning. You know, I guess at Ironclad Preservation or Brett Douglas in general, I'm always talking about, trying to right the industry and to help other people. And, we get a lot of criticism for that. And, unfortunately, it's hampered our business. And I guess that's life, man. It's always the ones that stand up for what's right that gets punished the most. But we're never gonna change the way we are. And there are a few companies that use us. We're very blessed to have one of the only nationals, in my opinion, use us. They keep us quite busy, and we stay doing it. And if my rest of my fleet has to stay, silent, then that's just kind of the way the cards fall, man. If you remember in the good book, nothing's promised, nothing, is set in motion, man. We're kind of here to do our thing, and then hopefully the afterlife's a little bit better. And that's what I kind of wanted to touch on this morning. That there are a group of people who are on the internet. You see the same players all the time. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people who don't post for whatever reason, and they don't, or they're not vocal, and they stay good contractors doing their business day to day, and they probably look at what a lot of us put on the social media, and they probably smile or get offended or get angry at some of the things, the stories that we tell. And but they kind of keep a neutral area. They're Switzerland. They don't really get involved, and it's probably a wise choice for their business model, and that's cool, man. A long time ago, I decided I wasn't going to be a sellout. That no matter what, you get Brett Douglas 100%. And today, I kind of wanted to talk about the pricing mechanisms that are being set in place, and the fact that you don't have to do that. There's a lot of hubbub going on that all these nationals that because they know that regionals then sub the work out to another tier, that they're trying to cut the regional pricing model out of the equation. By what they do is they lower their prices to the regional, then the regional in turn cuts the pricing to the vendor. However, the regional is really not impacted by lower prices anyway, because they're still going to get their 20%. The people that unfortunately are really affected by the lower pricing are the actual vendors themselves, the boots on the ground, as we tend to call them. Like I said, once again, we're blessed. We work for National. It takes their 20% cut or whatever from HUD pricing. And obviously we do pre-foreclosure work. We don't do REO, but on the same token, I don't know how people are doing REO at these flat rate prices that they're paying. I mean, I don't. The only one I know that's making a killing is Gene O'Neill, with the Wells work, and to me, that's, as everyone's cutting their prices, and they say that, oh, they don't want code violations, this and that. It just seems to me it's funny that everyone else has gone to bargain basement pricing, but yet here's this one bank that's just saying, hey man, go out and spend $60,000 on trees and shrubs on an asset that's worth 30. I don't know, but whatever, man, it's cool. But for the most of us that are trying to make decisions every day, what we need to do and how we push our vehicles forward, we need to realize that a lot of times the first pricing that you get, guys, is negotiable. And if you realize that getting to home run every time is not really necessary, but trying to get to second base and build a relationship with your client is probably what's a little more paramount. And I think that we tend to be on social media bad mouthing everybody and bashing things, and instead of trying to find solutions to help those young people that are then afraid to get on the media and ask questions because they're going to get beat up. And we, for the last 2 years since pricing started falling, we kind of created a bottom level pricing for us, and we know what our break even point is for grass cut. Obviously, the last couple of clients we've onboarded with, they've always hit us with a lower price than what we need. And you have to go back and kind of explain your break even point to them, explain your situation, and see if it's a good fit. You have to sacrifice sometimes to achieve the same results. If you're looking at handling an area that's kind of difficult to handle, then they're obviously going to negotiate a little bit faster than like in our area of Florida, I guess there's some superstars around here in Florida, but for the most part, Florida is just, ripe with contractors. Obviously, we've always had really nice volumes here in Florida, so there's a million different, contractors here. It's not that, there's some that stand out above the rest, and, even though they believe it's their quality and it's this, it's that, there is no loyalty in this industry. Because the banks have no loyalty towards the nationals have no loyalty towards themselves. They certainly don't care about their vendors, and that's a shame. It shouldn't be that way. The good old days of a handshake and your word is gone by the way. Obviously, when they force us to take a million photos, there is no trust in this industry anymore. And if you look at some of our earlier videos and musings the other day, then the stupid people post things on the social media. Obviously, there is no trust when they're selling appliances out of houses, or taking stuff, scrapping stuff out of houses that shouldn't be done. Then obviously, I don't think the nationals are going to trust down the road who's doing their work anyway. Unfortunately, it is all about pricing, and you just have to make some hard decisions. We used to have a prevalent REO department, even though I say I don't like REO. Obviously, I wasn't the one out in the field doing it, but we used to have a thriving REO division, and I can honestly say that, I don't like my guys taking stuff off properties. They need to take it to the landfill, and that's it. And every time you go to a landfill, I'm sure you see the big sign up there that says, no scavenging, and this is waste. And yeah, actually, I did work out in the field when I started my business, and instead of, nowadays where I do the construction and work on things for my guests that come to our facility. We had a big dream. One day we wanted to have this big, beautiful facility that, nationals would come and view. But, those days are over, man. RFPs are gone by the wayside. MCS did an RFP years ago. LPS did an RFP years ago. Altisource years ago. Nobody's doing any recent RFPs because the pricing is set so low now. I doubt, it's like, how low can you go? They're not going to get a response from anyone that's going to go any lower. So they're pretty much sticking with what they have. And the quality's out there. How many of us go out to jobs and we're looking at stuff and just scratching our heads, and, you get what you pay for. And so all you nationals that are bent on profit and they're bent on, keeping your share, and that overhead starting to creep up on y'all, and you realize that, there's people like Safeguard that brag they've never had a layoff. What was that? You never had a layoff? How's that working for you now? You're laying a lot of people off because, as those lawsuits are looming and as the drawdown in volume, as the pricing mechanism continues to fall, it's disaster. It's just disaster, man. We're on the Titanic, and it's just a matter of time before we all hit that iceberg, and we have to bail out and find an alternative. Now, there will always be preservation work, guys. Don't flatter yourself. 2008 was just a massive hit, in volumes. But remember, there's people of us that have been doing this forever. How do you think that NAMPS has been around for 25 years, in the 80s and the 70s? And there's great people. You take advice of great, icons in our industry like Rob Sanchez, that's been around from the beginning and personally knew, the John Wards and these characters that shaped our landscape for the preservation industry, and somebody who's been around a long time. That my best bet for you people who want to survive and want to be resilient and stay in the game would be to strike up a friendship with Mr. Sanchez and kind of pick his brain, but make it a symbiont relationship. Be willing to help him with ideas and do things, and not just benefit off of him. It's not a parasitic host relationship. Be symbiont, man. Actually offer genuine friendship and a desire to learn. And a lot of people get brought under their wings, and I know a lot. I'm the lone leader, as everybody tells me, and I'm blaze my own path, and I've done this and that, and yeah, whatever, man. I guess I have, and sometimes I wonder if some of the decisions I made were the right ones. But we can't really alter the past. We can only hope to change the future. And so what I'm saying today is a message of hope that, get out there and, try to find some of these icons in our industry and reach out to them and find out what they're doing to diversify. And, you don't have to believe the rhetoric that, this or that, or, whatever. I'm challenged a lot, even though I try to, advise labor and help people and do things. What have I really done for labor? I don't know. Fuck you, man. What have you really done? Ask yourself this, man. As much as we sit here on the videos and try to help people, how many people help themselves? I don't come to work every day, and when my employees are here and I look around and I go, well, man, it's a drawdown, it's a drawback, we don't have a lot of things to do. I guess I'll just, sit here and do nothing. No, I spend at least an hour or two a day trying to problem solve and try to find new solutions. And sometimes, we hit a brick wall, and that's cool. Sometimes we build that brick wall. I'm guilty of both things, but I'm not going to give up, and I'm going to continue to push the industry standard. And hopefully my dream is that we'll get on the education and training side, and for these new people coming in, we're going to help them. But to pick on each other as vendors, and then really getting criticized from people who aren't even in our industry that obviously as they're facing financial ruin. Yeah, okay, all right, I guess whatever. I've grown, almost 50 years old, and I'm at the point now where, I don't have to accept anything. If it doesn't make sense to me, I'm just going to call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. I mean, it's ridiculous to think that you're going to help others when you can't even help yourself. But hey, that's cool, man. Whatever. But anyway, guys, reach out to people in this industry, get in these groups, then look at the people who are posting these groups all the time. And maybe they have the answers, maybe they don't. There's a hardcore group up north. There's a group, in Kentucky. There's people in Florida. There's people out in Nevada. There's people in Utah. I mean, it doesn't, take a rocket scientist to sit down and look at who's putting their effort into their growing their businesses and who wants to help other people. It's kind of like, the blind leading the blind. If you go out there and you look for what you're looking for, it's gonna, find your way. So I guess, my message today is don't give up. I mean, there's days that I feel utterly defeated, and right now we're in a situation where for the last, it's been 2 months that my bills far exceed my income coming in, and it's depressing. Everyone picks on me for NAMPS. I owe NAMPS a large deal of money. I'm always trying to help NAMPS and sponsor and do things, and it weighs heavy on my heart that I have to feel like I'm a loser. I have lawsuits that are pending. I owe my landlords. But every day we go out there and we work, and we have to wait for our money, and that's the nature of the beast. So if anybody else has a better solution, let us know. The rest of us, we eat a lot of Maalox or whatever that crap is, and Pepto-Bismol, and we just grit our teeth and bear through it. The Lord has our back. We'll get through it. And if for anybody to remind ourselves that this is a great industry, we will persevere, and we'll get through these hard spots, man. So God bless you. We love you. Ironclad fast. Guess what, guys? Getting closer. Hopefully, I'm another battle with my building and being shut down and reapplying for our permit again, and just continuing saga. But hey, you know what? We're gonna keep a good attitude. We'll get through it. God bless you. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.